So coming to presentation technique, basically presentation techniques means the different methods that we are using for presentation of research idea or research result. When we are getting some result through a research, we have to publish it or we have to make others know that we have found a major discovery. And for that we are using number of techniques. And one of the major technique is known by the name oral presentation. And what is the purpose of oral presentation? That we have to understand what is an oral presentation, what is the major purpose of an oral presentation. Coming to an oral presentation, basically it is introducing oral presentation are usually to introduce a discussion of a topic or a research paper. For example, next year you will have a project for your fifth and sixth semester. You will be taught to do a project. It's a major work you have to do, and one project means equivalent to one paper. Just like you have 40 or 60 marks for a paper, a project will also get 40 marks. So it's an important part of your BSc program. And at the end, and after the project, during the examination, you will be making a presentation before an external teacher. And what you are presenting, you will be presenting through a PowerPoint slide. What was the objective of your work, and what was the methodology you have used for your work, and what are the results you have obtained, and what are your major conclusions from your study. So that aspect is known by that kind of an approach or that kind of a presentation is known by the name oral presentation. Basically, it is introducing a topic or a research paper to another person or an audience. A good oral presentation is focused and concise. What is the meaning of that? Because most of the time for an oral, for example, for your next year project presentation, you are getting only 7 minutes. 5 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for the discussion. So you cannot make an elaborate discussion. You cannot make hundreds of slides and you cannot give a presentation. You can only take 10 slides. That is the maximum that will be possible. So within 10 slides, you have to make a presentation of what you have done during your project work. You have taken several months for doing the project. Sometimes if you have done it properly, you will have plenty of ideas, plenty of photographs to share. But you may not be able to, you cannot, that is not expected from you. You have to give a brief, concise, very brief, concise presentation of what you have done, what are the results you have obtained. So that is the main purpose of an oral presentation. An oral presentation cannot be very exhaustive. Oral presentation should be very brief. So that is an important aspect. And in an interesting order, that is, you are presenting the idea in an interesting order. That is another, because when a person or an audience, sometimes they may not be in your field. They may be from some other field. But when you are making the presentation, that presentation should create some interest on the audience or on the observer. The person who is observing, they might feel that this is an interesting work. Then only they will start watching your presentation properly. They may be interested in asking some doubts, or we will have a discussion at the end. So all these are very important. Your presentation should be very brief, that is focused and concise, and should be presented in an interesting manner. Means you can add plenty of photographs rather than simply keeping only text. We can give some photographs that will immediately catch the attention of the observer. So these are some of the techniques that are usually taken by the students. An oral presentation should be well prepared, having a detailed outline. It takes a lot of time to prepare a good presentation. Next time you will be experiencing that. And before you go to the oral presentation, we may also conduct a mock presentation. Otherwise, what will happen is that you will be committing a lot of mistakes or blunders in your final examination. to make sure that you don't commit such mistakes, you usually conduct a mock presentation. Then only after that only you will be giving the final presentation before another teacher. So the presentation should introduce the subject properly, because usually when you are making an oral presentation, it will be having a systematic slide. The first slide usually shows the title of your work. What was, for example, you have done a work on the diversity of birds, diversity of butterflies, or diversity of moths, or diversity of mosquito, or diversity of amphibian. That will be your title, and along with you will be also showing your name and register number. In the second slide, you are usually expressing what are the aims or objectives of your work. What are the major objectives, or what are the major aims of your work? And followed by the introduction. And in the introduction, that will be usually the third slide. In the introduction, you can explain why this work is important. What is the importance of this work? Why you have chosen this work? So that aspect is coming under the slide known as introduction. So the presentation should introduce the subject properly. Why you are doing this work? What is the relevance of this work? What is the importance of your work? Why you should care about this work? These are the aspects you have to explain while you are making an introduction. It should talk about the sources, method used, as well as statement about your new result. For example, sometimes in the introduction itself, people give you what is the aim and what is the main method, and also give you a very brief idea regarding what are your main results, so that the reader may get interested. This is the work he had done, and he got a major result here. So let's see what he is going to tell. So that is the purpose of introduction. The presentation should also indicate if there are conflicting views about the subject. For example, you have done a study on amphibians, taking about 50 species of amphibians from Kottayam district. But a previous study done by some other student got around 60 species of amphibians. You should clearly mention that earlier. Otherwise, if you are suppressing that data, and you are, for example, if you are suppressing that information, what happens is that sometimes the person sitting and viewing your work may be an expert. You will be knowing that there was another work done by another student or another scholar, and he or she has discovered 60 species of amphibian. And if you are not mentioning that, at the end of presentation, the expert will usually ask, this is the work, and earlier a work like this has been conducted, and they have discovered 60 species, why only 50 species in your work? So if you hide or suppress some information, that usually puts you in trouble. So that is why when you are making a presentation, even if there are ideas which are not according to your expected result, you have to present. That is a conflicting views. So such conflicting views or opinions should be presented. That increase the value of your result. Because science is based on evidence and observation. We cannot simply say, I believe that this is the result, this is the reason. We cannot say that. If you say that this is the reason for this phenomenon, you should provide supporting evidence. Without evidence, you cannot say anything. So that is scientific method. A good presentation should also use visual aids or handouts. Visual aids means usually photographs, or you can say movies, small videos. For example, if you are making a 5 minutes presentation, if you have a video of 30 seconds about amphibians moving around, that will be interesting to the observer. The audience will be very much attracted if you are showing a small video of 15 seconds or 20 seconds. But you don't show a lengthy video, that will not be useful. So short videos, images, colorful photographs are all create interest on your presentation. So that is the first type of approach. Then effective PowerPoint presentation is just an aid to the presentation and not the presentation itself. That is when you are making a presentation, for example, I am making, this is a PowerPoint slide. You go to the Google, you go to a MS Office and take the presentation slide. It may not be looking like that. It will be having a dull appearance, usually in old style. What I do it in OneDrive, and in using OneDrive, we can modify that so that the presentation looks more attractive. So we have to make sure that when you are making a presentation, it should not give a boring impression. It should give you that it is something new, something modern. Because naturally, human mind has a tendency to look on something that is more modern, new. For example, if you are showing the old thing, people may not be very interested in looking at that slide. So that is always a presentation should be very interesting. Relevant visual illustration, basically pictures, maps, charts and graphs should be used wherever. For example, and you are making a presentation about the amphibian diversity, and if you are showing a pie chart, and that pie chart shows the different amphibians and different families of amphibians, which family has higher number or which genus has higher number of species. So a pie chart like this or a bar diagram maybe, such kind of graphs can be very useful in giving a good idea to the observer. So these are some of the techniques that you can use. One should also make clear statement about the essence of result of your problem. That is, when you are making a presentation, the presentation should clearly mention what are your major results. Without explaining your major result, you are giving a vague idea, then it won't be appropriate. It will not be complete. So always give a clear statement at the end of your presentation or at the beginning and at the end of the presentation. You should summarize what are your major findings. The presentation should avoid long full sentence on the slide and distracting colors, patterns, pictures or decoration on the slide. Sometimes students are doing it. There are different types of colorful slides are available from internet. That may not be very appropriate, because if anything is there on the slide that distract the viewer, that may not be good. So always give a very simple, not too distracting slide. That is always useful. And another point is that the sentence that you are using on the for example, if I am giving a presentation here, what I have done is that I have made it in small lines so that you can read each line. Each line is a separate point. Actually, this is a big paragraph. I have split it into several lines. If I am putting all the sentence together, it may not be easy for you to read. Like that, you have to cut short. Wherever possible, make very small, very brief sentence. Only if you can present it in one line, that is always good. Very short sentences are always useful. That is the presentation should avoid long sentences on the slide. Long sentences are not effective in communicating what you are intending to say. It is also important to avoid use of too complicated charts, graphs, and if you have a very highly complicated chart, sometimes when you are making a presentation, different types of people will be sitting there. Some may be very expert, some may not know anything. So presentation should always present only things which can be easily understood by the audience. So that is what is mentioned here. Too much complicated chart or graph should be avoided, because that makes the reader boring. That makes the viewer boring after some time. Then the second type of work that we can approach that we are using is assignment. You know what is an assignment? If I give you an assignment, what you will do? For example, like you will write an assignment on amphibians of Kerala. So easy for you. Tomorrow, after going home, you will take the Google and put amphibians of Kerala. You will get plenty of information. You take a copy that in the Word file and make a detailed editing of the paragraph and put some photographs also and submit tomorrow as an assignment on amphibians. This is how you are doing, right? But this is not what is expected. But if you are doing the same thing in a foreign university, they will use another software called plagiarism checker. And plagiarism checker will show from which site you have taken. Now, if you have taken the full information from internet, At the end of the report, it shows 100% plagiarism, that is 100% copy. And that assignment will be written. Here also it is going to come. For the postgraduate students, it is already implemented. But our university has not strictly implemented. UGC has already implemented. So you cannot copy anything blindly from internet now. If you are taking anything from the internet, even if you have one sentence, or 3 or 4 lines you have taken from the internet, this plagiarism software will immediately catch it and show from which website you have taken. Along with that, along with the report, it will also show the website you have taken. If another person is clicking that website, immediately it shows that this is the line you have taken from this website. So that is a big trouble when we are writing. So assignment is actually, this is not what is expected in an assignment. An assignment should be your own work. And for example, you make an amphibians of Kerala. You make a detailed study on amphibians from your internet and from your personal observation. You are making a detailed study of amphibians, and you make a 2 or 3 pages report. And in a report, most of the information are your own. Then you are safe. That is what is expected. But usually assignments are always done in a appropriate way. That is why these kind of softwares are now commonly available to catch students who are copying. While writing an assignment, one should first understand what has your lecture asked you to do. That is another question. Sometimes for some time there will be questions in examination. You might have studied something about that topic. The question may be about some other thing. Whatever question you ask, I will write only one answer. There's some students have that approach. Because I only know that. You can ask any question, this is what I know. Or whatever question you are asking, I am going to write the same answer. This is what I have studied. That kind of approach some students are following. That is not expected. So when you are writing an assignment, always try to understand what is the main idea that you have to communicate. For example, it is about amphibian diversity of Kerala. There is no meaning in writing an amphibian diversity of the world, or amphibian diversity of India, or amphibian diversity of other states. That is not expected. You have to be very clear about what you should write the assignment. So that is one should first understand what has your lecturer asked you to do. So understand the topic very clearly. Third is having the right information is crucial to producing a strong assignment. So when you are going to write an assignment should not be very lengthy. There is no need for that. Because in modern world, because of the software, plagiarism software, it is creating more trouble. For example, it is always safe to write in your own sentence. Right now you are not in danger, but actually for the coming batches, this plagiarism software will be strongly implemented. And what is the problem? For example, you have done a project work, and you have completed the project work. After 5 years, another person, maybe your own student, maybe your own classmate, gave a complaint to the university that this project done by this student has been copied. Then what university will do? University will make an inquiry, and when university will appoint you teachers and ask you to check the plagiarism of that project. And if they are checking the plagiarism of that project, university will withdraw your degree. That can happen. Right now it is happening with PhD. If you submit a PhD thesis, after 10 years, about many ministers of Kerala, you might have heard about such complaints. So I got very famous ministers in Kerala. You have heard that their PhD are all fake, they have copied. So this is the problem of copying information. If you have copied something, even after 5 years, 10 years or 20 years, you can be caught. Always make sure that don't copy. If you copy something, correctly place the reference, correctly give the reference or citation from where you have taken. Information you find should be reliable and point you in the right direction. So that is another aspect. Because whatever information you are presenting in your assignment should be reliable. That is, it should not be fake. Maybe reliable means that information will be supported by evidence. That is the meaning of the word reliable, trustworthy. That can be dependent on. It is not a guess or something. That because if you have taken some information from internet, give the reference appropriately at the end of your end of your assignment. Then you are safe. So don't blindly copy some sentence and put it as your own. Then only you will be in trouble. So whenever you are taking some information, always give the credit to the original author of that sentence. That information should be reliable and point you in the right direction. One should express the idea clearly and concisely. Earlier also, very brief presentation. In science, that is always accepted. The science students are writing in one style and humanities students are writing in another style. For if you are after this degree course, you are going to do some MBA program or an MA program. For the first few months, you will be in trouble because you are writing few smaller sentences. Their students are writing lengthy sentences. But because in science, lengthy sentences are never expected. Only very brief, very short, concise sentences are appreciated in the society. So that is important points in an assignment. Another area, another technique that we are using is seminar. A seminar may be defined as a gathering of the people for the purpose of discussing a stated topic. For example, seminar on COVID-19, effectiveness of the booster dose on COVID-19. So many experts who are working in immunology, vaccinology, or health experts will be coming and making their opinion. Sometimes some people will be making presenting research publication, research presentation. So these are all expected in a seminar. So several people will be coming. So in a seminar, usually most of the time, people who are working in that area. If it is COVID-19, people who are working in COVID-19 will be coming. If it is about amphibians, people working in amphibians will be coming. If it is about any disease, the people working, for example, malaria, people working in malaria will be coming. If it is about mosquito, people working in mosquitoes will be coming. So before an audience, before an expert audience, we are giving our presentation. Such gatherings are usually interactive. The participants engage in discussion about a delineated topic. Delineated means an identified. For example, seminar on biodiversity of amphibians in Western Ghats. There, another person is coming and talking about the amphibians of Himalayas. That is not expected. So when it is a seminar on amphibians of Western Ghats, you should only talk about amphibians of Western Ghats, not about amphibians of Himalayas or amphibians of Thar Desert or amphibians of Europe. That is not expected. So it is only about the delineated or about the identified topic. You can give you can make a presentation or have a discussion. The sessions are usually headed by or led by one or two presenters who serve to steer the discussion along with desired path. Usually what happens in seminar, major seminar is that maybe it's a one-day seminar. When you go for a seminar like that, if it is about amphibians, the first hour itself there will be a small introduction, a small inauguration. After inauguration, there will be a 1 hour presentation by usually a major expert working in amphibians. He will make a detailed PowerPoint presentation of about his work. So the other viewers, the audience will be having a good idea about the major aspects of amphibian diversity of Kerala. Then after usually this is followed by a discussion. Based on his presentation, other participants will be making their own opinions. What has to be done more? Where are the gap areas? And what are the difficulties that they have faced in working in that area? This kind of discussion will be taking place. So that is expected in a seminar. A seminar may have several purposes, not just one purpose. Maybe a seminar you should that you can see that a seminar can be motivational. In which case, the purpose is used to inspire the attendees to become better people, work towards implementing their skills. For example, maybe the purpose of one seminar is just educational. There, an expert from amphibians is coming and giving you a lecture. What is expected? They are not expecting, or we are not expecting to go to be an expert in amphibians. Instead, it is only education. It gives you an idea about what are the major amphibians present in Kerala. So you get some idea. These are the major species of amphibians in Kerala. The purpose is educational. But we are not expecting that you are going to work on amphibians or you are going to do a research on amphibians. That is not expected. So, purpose of a seminar is sometimes educational or simply motivation, just to motivate. Just to motivate the viewer or audience, we are making a presentation. Or work towards a implementing skill. For example, if it is in a factory, office, or an IT park, some new softwares has been implemented, and there will be seminar of what are the new skills that you need to learn while working with that software. So that kind of seminar is a skill enriching seminar. So such kinds of seminars are also there in. Then sometimes seminars are simply network to meet other attendees with similar interests. That is a major function of any seminar. For example, after your BSc, you go for MSc, and after MSc you found that let's study about mosquitoes of Kerala. These mosquitoes are troublemakers. They are causing a lot of diseases. So, you won't get a lot of people working in mosquitoes in Kerala. Maybe 5 people or 10 people, maybe they are in Kerala. So, when you are attending a seminar on mosquito or diseases, people from all over India may be coming there. So, you get lot of contacts. Now, only 5 or 10 people you are knowing in Kerala, but when you are attending a seminar like that, there may be 100 people or more than 100 people will be there, and you can share your ideas with them. You will get lot of ideas from their experience. So it is improving your knowledge, and after coming back, you will have all the contact number and emails. When you are in doubt about something, you can immediately send an email or give a WhatsApp message to that person. And can you help me in this? Then usually most of them they will readily help because they know you personally. When they know you personally, they will help. If they don't know you personally, if you send a mail or a message, most of the time it will be neglected because they don't know whom you are. So that is a very main purpose of any seminar to network or give contacts with each other. Establish more contact. Ultimately that is a primary purpose of any seminar, to make potential valuable contacts, because in research contacts are very important, especially when you are doing with the Europeans or Americans. If they don't know you personally, they will not support you. That is a big problem. Even in India also, you send a mail to some unknown person, sometimes they will reply, sometimes they won't reply. Especially if it is in a very highly confidential area, if you expect a reply from them, most of the time you should know the person. Otherwise, they are not going to share that information with you. So that is also potential contacts are very valuable in developing your career. Then seminars and workshop, that is another area that we can discuss. And there is some difference between seminars and workshop. I think about workshop and colloquium we will be discussing in the next class. Today we will be stopping here because we don't have sufficient time for